If they
It's
do,
Fish Day. Fuck no.
right? If they do, I'll use Greeny's phone and send it out then.
Nexus gets back.
Well, speaking of that, whoop whoop, we're live, motherfuckers.
Ayo.
Welcome back to LHRPG, and we actually have a game diary today. Uh, so do a little intro while we're waiting on mofos. For those of you that live under a fucking rock and don't know, I'm your boy Lil Nitro.
Hey, Wilbur.
Shout
You
out to the
gurgled and it
motherfucking
sounded like
Leather
me
Feet.
when I yelled. Thanks, Ann.
Shout out, Tank.
Yeah, Doyen texted me a while ago, and he was like, "There's Doyen." It, Doyen texted me earlier asking when we were going live. I said, "I don't know. I ain't heard from him yet today." Right?
Doyen's in right
There's
now.
your answer, Doyen.
All right. Before we jump in.
Wilbur. Yeah.
Well, you got to take the camera to him or get his ass over here by you instead of way over there so we can see and hear him.
You hear me? Art thou not entertained? I'm always yelling.
That's accurate.
All right.
All right, well, go ahead and give us a spoiler free recap.
Spoiler-free recap. Um, there were really only 4 of us.
Yeah, at any given time, there was really only 4
At any
playing.
given time, aside from the very beginning, there was only 4 of us.
And I wrote up 6 character sheets.
Yeah. Um,
So, like, what's a synopsis of the story without giving away too much?
synopsis of the story. Um, we did not escape the Bloodkeep. There was no escape for us in sight.
In all fairness, escaping the Bloodkeep, even though that's the name of the adventure,
It is not the
that's
objective.
I think the
No.
only
the
way that could be
entire point is
resolved is
to
to betray the
save
party and
the
go
Bloodkeep.
out. Right.
Everyone to fuck, you could have escaped the Bloodkeep, but then we would have missed out most of the adventure.
Most of the adventure
We
we
would
would
have
have missed
missed
out on.
so much.
There's not a lot of
Did miss quite a few good things.
spoiler-free synopsis I can do because everything would be a spoiler for how it played out in the story.
Would you like me to assist?
Yes.
I would like to assist because everything in my eyes is a key point that we can bring
Okay.
up.
Okay. Spoiler for JPC.
This bitch.
Okay.
Woo-woo.
Spoiler free synopsis is we played evil, monstrous characters in a dark underworld-esque realm
Off-brand Mordor.
who off-brand Mordor, who our main goal was to pull some evil shit for evil people and fuck over the good.
Uh-huh.
So basically, it's a parody of Lord of the Rings. The players are playing the bad guys, and instead of the One Ring, it's the Last Crown. You know, and basically we constitute our version of Sauron.
So we can get to the trees.
Yes, with flowers and apples.
Great characters, great characters.
Yes, great characters all the way around.
So, sister, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
We're not in a basement, we're in a garage.
Y'all have basements?
They are in their version of where I am.
Yeah. Hey, that is pretty dope. We're both in the gaming smoking garage.
Yeah, but half of ours.
So, go ahead and give us a breakdown of. I'm gonna do it just to piss you off. Give us.
Her name is Hell. Okay, she has not gone by Freya in 100 years.
That's not true. Telmir called her Freya in the first combat.
And it pissed her the fuck off.
And yet she didn't get to kill him.
I did not. I was very, very disappointed with that, but pleased with how he died.
Getting shot in the back.
Background info about Hell.
So,
The character, not the place.
right, she's a high elf. Um, she's wizard, level 14. Her whole life, she spent trying to get a rise out of her father, who was literally known as the Calm because he never gave any kind of emotion. And that pissed her off, especially because she's such an emotional person. So her whole life, she was trying to get a rise out of her dad in one way or another, to the point of marrying a man she didn't even want to marry just to get a rise out of him, and it didn't fucking work. So she met this princess named Amara and was recruited to join this uh, basically dark force army style known as what was the name of our group?
The lieutenants.
Yeah, that she became a lieutenant for the Lord of Shadows. She's an oracle.
I think the funniest part of all of it is the princess, your best friend, the one that brought you into this world, spent
The
most of
one that
that
most of
adventure on
the
a shopping
character
trip
sheets
with her
based
handmaiden.
on.
She spent most of the adventure on a shopping trip with her handmaiden.
If you look at my character sheet on the background boxes, most of it is tailored around her loyalty to the princess.
Yeah.
And
And the
she didn't even
princess
get to
wasn't
interact
able
with
to
her
be there
other
for
than like
most
the
of it.
very end.
Now, let's be clear that uh SQ had to take care of some family shit. That's why she couldn't be there for most of the adventure. So we don't hold nothing against her for it. I just find it kind of funny that the one person that brought hell into this world wasn't there for most of it.
Yeah. It was super funny because my allegiance was to the princess, whereas Wilbur's allegiance was to the Lord.
Yeah, mine was to Zelnage.
Which was who to the princess?
Her boyfriend. Doyen said who all played.
Uh, uh,
It was me, Suicidal Queen, Nexus, Wilbur, and Lil Metro's son.
I love how we're excluding
yeah. We're
someone.
not going to.
Oh, and Greenie.
No,
Fuck.
we're not excluding. No, no. See, I was just about to fucking say we weren't excluding anyone because Greenie for real didn't fucking play.
Nitro's gonna give Greenie so much shit this episode.
If they make it back.
Oh, dude, I was so fucking pissed off.
You, Nexus told him too. He was like, "Dude, you pissed everybody off."
The
I was
amount
like,
of
"Yeah,
fucking
Nitro
time
was
and work I
not
put into
fucking
this
happy."
adventure, and for him to do what he did, it just pissed me off.
Nexus
Like,
goes, he was
this
so
is an
upset it was
adventure
like
I
a kid in
fucking
the
love.
courtroom pointing to where it hurt.
Like, that would be like the equivalent of You prep, you finally get to start doing your fucking Stranger Things campaign, and Greenie doesn't want to play in it. That's how I felt.
Right.
Because this is an adventure I was super excited about. I love this adventure, which was why I've ran it multiple times. I put weeks of fucking work into it, and he just sat there, go lay in the bed. Anyway, enough with the bullshit. Wilbur, why don't you give us a little coverage of
Big fucking Minotaur dude.
That's where you start with.
Big fucking Minotaur dude. The Beast Lord of Gorga. Like, the Beast Lord of where the fuck we were at. Rip off Mordor.
Gorgar?
Gorgar. Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. That was something. It's a dog right here. Very, very thematic. When I'm talking about character, the dog comes over.
Right. The Beast Lord is now surrounded by the dog and the cat.
So, Morgor
Oh, that's
has
great.
true loyalty to Zalmash, the current Lord of Shadows, and theoretically the deity which created him.
Didn't you say that loyalty also extended to the princess?
It hypothetically extended to the princess and his offspring. That's hypothetically. Why I almost killed you over that.
I'm pretty sure the only reason for that extension is because of their connections to Zalnaj.
Yeah.
He was loyal to Gogmoth because Gogmoth gave Zalnaj the power he has, and he was loyal to Amara and the baby.
I had a manticore that followed me around like a dog. And also a scream beast.
Just saying, he's sitting over there.
A scream beast.
Oh yeah, tell him about Jeremy.
I don't want to tell him about Jeremy.
We never got to go to an orphanage.
I think she can tell them about Jeremy the best. It's me resigning my place.
Jeremy was a scream beast. He was the last. Nitro's gone. There he is.
What happened?
You went black.
What happened? What the fuck?
You turned off the light. Look at that little nub. That little nub just a wagging. Get that boy. Mr. Spiky. Hey, get Mr. Spiky. Good girl. Oh. Good girl. His lights went out again.
On my screen, it still shows him there. It's just frozen.
On my screen, he is solid black. Oh, you ready to go in there? My room? Because I am. It's too hot. I gotta sit in front of that fan.
Go in there and then I'll come back.
Trying to get up. Yeah. Oh.
I'm sure you need help. You're absolutely 100% certain.
I'm 100%.
Well, now I'm getting up and I'm too lazy to sit back down.
Oh, thank you. He's gone now. Now it's not even black. I don't know what's happening. Ew. I don't know what's happening.
We'll fight the Roach King.
The Roach King.
The Roach King. He's a dude with a minigun and a fuck ton of roaches.
How have you encountered this?
You don't know what the fuck the Roach King is?
All right, finally. Nope, it's back
Welcome
on speak.
back.
There we go. Now I'm fucking wrong.
Took you long
It keeps
enough.
kicking me off.
Just turn it off.
Okay. Son of a
Doggy
bitch.
Joe.
Is that you?
Can you
All
hear
right, let's
us,
try this
sir?
again. Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Well,
You just disappeared for quite.
Over here.
PS3.
Is your extender not plugged up?
No, I'm connected to the extender. That's what I'm not fucking understanding why it's doing this.
I have no idea.
How do you do this?
Hang on. Well, while you
Self
figure that out, I'm going to answer some questions that Doyen has sent us.
Yeah. Use my phone for the comment.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. I'm just moving my shit.
So I'm not sure why he didn't play. I don't know if he was tired or grumpy or what, but he went from being hyped to not being into it at all.
Talking about why Green didn't play?
He was in a bitch mood.
Fucked me over.
He tried
to fuck me
he
over.
tried to screw Wilbur over real bad because we'll explain why later, but it was bullshit. Next question: did he summon the lava monster? No, he did not summon the lava
feel
monster.
so
Fuck
fucking
no!
about that.
No! Once again, I run this fucking adventure. I bring up the lava mog. I summons it. Wilbur!
Look, can I bring up my reason why?
Sure, go right ahead.
Listen, chat. Listen, chat. Okay, you need to understand this for me. We fucked these guys over so bad in combat that I didn't even think about it. Second off, I was mistaken because I thought I had to defeat the goddamn thing before I could summon it. No, that was another monster that we encountered later on, which I still didn't defeat because someone banished it.
Yeah, don't go too far into detail on that part yet.
I'm not.
And his third question: where did y'all play the game at? We played here, at the house. Nitro and Nitro Junior come down here to play. All right.
Click. My newest piece.
Nice.
Fucker. Alright. What are you doing?
Okay.
Harley, you're a traitor.
Okay, now let's go ahead and get into the plot. Who wants to?
Wilbur has declared me, so.
Question. Are we gonna go over every opening scene?
He's gone again.
I hate the PS3 controller. Shit.
I was sure to fuck. Are you sure they turned it off?
That's Uh, Dorian, to answer your question, that is Harley. That is me and Greenie's dog. Or
You know what?
it, it,
Fuck this. I'm going. I'm just gonna do it on.
Based.
you're playing a boy.
Yes, why wouldn't I?
You're playing a young gentleman.
I'm gonna throw something at you. I'm gonna pick your dog and throw it at you.
Please don't. She's sleeping so peacefully, and I don't want to go into labor. Are you trying?
Is my signal okay? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Am I cutting out?
No,
You're doing better now,
no, you're
sir.
doing worse.
Yeah.
Wilbur.
What the fuck is
Like
this?
this shit. This signal shit is
What
pissing
is
me off just
this?
as much as Greeny did.
What the fuck is this keyboard?
Do you need help?
I apologize to everyone in the chat for all my fucking bullshit tech issues.
How do I delete?
By
Do
the
you need
way,
help?
we almost forgot. Shout out to Humble Among.
Shout out to Humble
Shut
Monk.
up. Not to shut up.
Okay,
Cat's
go
trying to
ahead with
punch me
your
through.
opening scene before we get fucking cut again.
Um, Wilbur asked, "Are you wanting to go through everyone's opening scene or just the people who are on the show?"
Only, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, no, only the people that actually played.
But I want to go over his opening scene so bad. It was so funny.
Okay, fine, fine.
He literally, his opening scene is what coined him the nickname of, "Hey, it's the mute pirate."
Like I tried so hard to pull his
His
ass
player
in.
name is gonna stay there, right?
Keyboard's so scuffed.
Well, here let's start with yours since you were the first one that we started with.
All right.
So where did we open up with you?
We open in a with me pulling some 11 from Stranger Things shit.
Some people haven't seen Stranger Things, so
Oh, that's their loss. Basically, I was floating in a big pool of black water, almost like a sensory deprivation type thing, in order to
yeah.
commune with the Furies.
Oh, now you're cutting out.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
You are on my end. Am I cutting out on your end?
No.
Yes.
Well, then
Wilbur,
you are cutting out.
hang on.
Make sure your Wi-Fi is not on again.
It's only cutting out for you. I just turned the volume up on the chat on Wilbur's phone and it's coming through clear.
You use my phone for all this stuff, man.
Well, that fucking sucks because I need to be able to hear you.
Let me check it. Hang on. How's that?
Good for now. Let's continue and see what happens.
So I got a vision from the Furies on my idiotic husband having the crown that we were all searching for.
No, no, no. He didn't have the crown. He was with the people that had the crown.
Or he was with the people who had the crown.
The halflings had it.
And then I went to go meet a friend of mine and instead found her mother, Lilith, a big ass grider bitch. And then on my way to the meeting room for the council meeting, I ran into the friend I was looking for,
And
and
who was that friend?
her name was Jessa. She is a giant spider. She's like 16, 17-year-old girl. Um, and her mother apparently went to look for her as well. She ran into us, and I convinced her to let Jessa go on the adventure with me as my familiar.
And what was Lilith's stipulation?
If she doesn't make it, then Lilith's other children get to eat me
Alive.
alive. They get to eat me alive. Let's see,
Uh,
and then oh, ran into this weirdo librarian lady who was talking to me about a book and
tells
mentioned that the
you,
books were attacking her. And at first, I honestly thought that she was full of shit and just crazy. That's why I was like, let's go. And then after I said that, then I actually saw the books attack her. I was like, oh, now I feel bad.
but you didn't help her.
I did not. Uh, um, I continued on to my meeting. Then again, I'm an evil bitch, so that made sense.
Right? Did you see the name of this episode?
No, hang on. I'll look on it on Wilbur's phone. This is the evil game.
You want to know why I called it that?
Why?
In Brennan's playthrough, when they got to the finale, they all started like giving each other pep talks and group hugs and shit, right? And Brennan goes,
No.
"This is supposed to be the evil game. This is the evil one."
Who?
I mean, that's like when it was played with Tink and them, and you're like, yeah, you motherfuckers were supposed to be evil, and you were more focused on friendship.
I was evil.
This time we were very evil.
No. But
Uh,
I beat the shit out of Coach.
all right, Wilbur, you want to just describe your opening scene?
The beast pits. So my opening scene started in the beast pits, and about that happened, you know. As it started in the beast pits 3-man show. Me, a goblin, and a troll. 3-man show for all of the beasts. Great
I
time.
think the
No,
troll's the only one that didn't
she's
get a
hurting
name.
me.
Huh?
I think the troll is the only one in the beast pits that didn't get a name.
He did not, unfortunately. I shall name him Ballsack.
Okay. Also, oh my God, no. Uh, Paul Sacralin.
Why are you just like up close on your dad's armpit?
try to tell a story, man. Um, so midway through the Beast Pit opening scene, I get news that Jeremy, the Scream Beast, is going into labor. Essentially, very
Yeah.
fun time. Apparently, a daily experience.
The look on Wilbur's face when I played Jeremy.
It broke me instantaneously. The scream. It was so funny.
I mean, he is a scream beast.
He is a Scream Beast.
Uh,
No, I can't do the scream. I can't do the scream.
So if you ran
so
that game, you
Jeremy's
could.
No,
in labor.
I'm not gonna run that game. I can't do the scream.
So
You broke him again.
That's how Jeremy talks.
Yeah. Um, he gave birth to like a half crab, half goblin with two heads. And the first thing, as it should be, is I tried to throw it in the beast pits. It didn't work. It scuttled away.
Uh,
You have neon green hair.
so what happened
Um,
after the birth?
uh, aside from me trying to throw it in the beast pits,
Yeah.
uh, I started walking. Well, the uh, the big wyvern riders showed up, and I started walking up the tower to go leash
The rhythm.
the wyverns that they were riding on,
So
and then it transitioned to
yeah.
someone else's opening scene.
So, I think from there it cut to Nexus because he was riding
Yes,
one of the Wyverns.
yeah.
So that it's too bad we don't have him here to do his, but essentially his opening scene resorted to the rest of the Venguri, which is like this group of race riders that work for Valnos, trying to make him feel better about the fact that they have not yet found the crown of shadows. And basically him telling them, no, no, fuck you. We didn't do a good job until the crown is found. None of us have done a good job. But basically, like I think
Like, you
Nexus
can tell me
was the
you're this
most
close for
hard
how
on
long?
everyone. Do what?
I think he made the statement when the guy was like, "We're this close." He was like, "You've been saying this close for how long?"
About 6 months.
This close.
Matter of fact, I believe when you guys finally actually got to the throne room, he snitched them out to Zalnos for that.
Yeah, Zelnaj was like, "How is it going?" He goes, "Well, they keep saying we're this close." That was great.
Uh, um, so that was pretty much all Nexus's opening scene was establishing his relationship with the rest of the Venguri.
Yeah.
Um, After
Bye, Toby.
that, I think uh,
Spoiler.
we moved on to the mute pirate after that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very fun
So I'm
opening
gonna,
scene.
sister, since that's your husband, I'm gonna let you go with that, and I'm gonna get a cup of coffee, and I'll be right back.
What I want to do is have Nitro try and give a couple of the prompts that he was trying to use at the table and demonstrate Greenie's reaction each time. Because there's a reason we coined the nickname the Mute Pirate. Essentially, his character is a human pirate who he was a prince, right? Prince pirate. Um, and his brother worked with the good guys. And so his goal was supposed to be taking down his brother, getting the crown back, all that good shit. But apparently, he decided to change that goal. And his new goal became very clear after the second combat. Is that right, Wilbur?
During the second combat.
Yeah, during the second combat, really. About killed him. He almost cost me and my familiar our lives. Not funny.
It is very funny.
What's very funny is that he was trying to waste your spell points.
Yeah, yeah, it was very funny.
He's
Very fun time that was.
not gonna live that one down.
Oh, not gonna let him live that one down.
He thinks the bolt in the face was bad. This is gonna be way worse.
Man, that made me mad. We'll get to that when we come to it. But man, that made me mad.
All right, what I miss?
So I described what his character's backstory was, um, what his goal was supposed to be, and I mentioned how he apparently decided to change that goal, and that became very clear about the second combat. But
Again, what? It might not have cut on your end, but it did cut on my end. So repeat the last sentence you just said, just for me.
I said I stated what his goal was supposed to be and made the statement that he apparently decided to change his goal, and it became very clear what that change was about second combat. But
Yeah, we're not going to
I
go
had
into it too deep until we get there, but
now I have an idea, Nitro. Oh, to give the viewers a good idea of why we nicknamed him the Mute Pirate, I want you to toss out, as best you can, a couple of the prompts that you gave during his opening scene, and I'm going to give
so
his
I have to.
reactions.
So okay, so I'm Prevo and you're Isaac.
Correct.
Are we ready?
Ready. I even took off my glasses to get in character.
All right. Well,
Because you got to see the
if we're getting
eyes.
in character here, if we're getting in character, yes, Captain St. Vincent. Um, the amount of arcane cannon we are needing to load onto your ship, arcane cannon, if you take the amount in your contract.
Okay.
That was the whole thing, y'all.
Yeah. That was like the whole fucking game.
To be fair, in his initial defense, he did give back half of the cannon.
Yes, he ended up deciding to do half the cannons. But like Nitro sat here for a good 10 minutes giving
Yeah.
out different dialogue prompts, and he's like, I don't know.
Like he wasn't in it from jump.
He was hyped for it before we started. And then when we started, it was like continuous decline. But yeah, that was pretty much it for his. You want to describe Nitro Junior's opening scene?
Shit, I don't really remember a whole lot. He was shopping. That was his opening scene.
Yeah, because you let him pick.
We scripted out for him because originally he wasn't part of the group. And then I had found out we were actually about, going to play. And he's all the time, wanting to do shit. So I was like, well, hey, you come with me, you play. And I think he made it through all the way to like about
He did do something very important though.
Which part?
He got the book for us.
Yeah, he did
he did.
he
He
ran into
did.
us and he seen the librarian lady and he got the book. But then when he went to read it, he realized he had to have Arcana in order to understand it. So it had to be brought to one of us with Arcana.
We didn't have to have our fun.
Nanto
So
said in
then he
order to
got to
understand what you were reading, you had to have Arcana.
that, gave it to you. Fucked off.
I think he made like one attack because he rolled a nat 20 for initiative, so he was first in order. And before we even finished the first round, because there was quite a few people fighting in that combat,
Yeah.
before we even got through the first round, he was like, I think I'm going to go in here now.
I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there and each if we didn't have players that, could summon 37 different fucking creatures. I mean,
The little witch cackle that
all
Wilbur
right,
just gave
so
was great.
right. Uh all the opening scenes.
Yeah, because we didn't do Amara's.
From here.
Wilbur, I'll let you talk for a minute.
Okay. So the meeting,
Yep.
there wasn't a lot that happened in the meeting aside from one very, very key factor. We got news that today was going to be the day that the kingdom of men and elves fell, and then instantaneously the fucking throne just exploded. It would be said best what Zalnash said right before the explosion, if you say it, good sir.
All right, hang on, hang on. You gotta close this door again because it's loud.
You're good and loud.
In the middle of the meeting, and he says, "When my crown is returned, all the peoples of Elna will say, fuck, 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 fuck. No, 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 no. Ah! Ah! And what happened?
He went, as Oliver described, he went,
So what happened?
he basically poof, puffed out. We were
I
like, what the fuck just happened? And we come to the realization that the good people
They
had
come to the realization.
had infiltrated us and tossed his crown into the lava at the scary volcano because that's the only way to destroy it.
Oliver came to that realization. None of you guys had that. He had to tell you guys.
Yeah. So we took off for the scary volcano.
Mercer played that role. He was extremely cryptic about it to the point where I had to keep asking what the fuck he was talking about. Found out all this was like, we need to. And then you guys were like, why? And he explained what was. And then goes, this could only have been done on Eagleback. And everyone's like, what? And he goes, we've been flying through the skies looking down when we should have been looking. So Nexus was a lot more direct with it than Matt Mercer was.
goat. Yeah, he was just like, yo, we gotta go. Why? This is why. Okay, let's go.
All right, so who wants to lead us in the scary volcano?
The first one down was Nexus, followed by me. Only, really. Customary. So we get down there, and we find two exhausted-looking little shitheads with not a crown in sight.
Can I just point out right quick? No one ever defeated Galfast Hamhead.
No one ever did.
She got away.
I,
She's back in
I in
Rutland.
fact tried to several times,
She's a little
but every time
badass,
I
isn't
tried to
she?
go after her, someone stopped me.
Why are you looking at me?
You were one of the people who stopped me.
When did I stop you?
Very final time I tried to go after her.
Because by that point he'd
You
already
cuffed me from
established
going
do
through the
not
doors.
split the party.
My character did not know that. I was under the assumption you would follow me, like any good party member. I had a trail and you did not follow.
And we had a task.
And even then,
This
Cody
is
and I
the
tried to
shit I
keep finding her.
at the table, guys.
We had a task. You didn't ever inform me about that task.
The task was at hand.
You didn't inform me about that task until you already tried to talk me down about trying to go find the halfling. You only had a hug between you trying to see, not before.
You're like, beneath.
I was still under the assumption for the entirety of the time until the throne room that she still had the crown. No one ever told me she didn't until we got to the throne room.
Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Back to the combat of the volcano. So who all showed up?
It was
Everyone?
Nexus, followed by Wilbur, followed by me and Jessa, followed by Greenie, followed by Nitro Jr. because
After the start of the first combat, because he went they got the book.
yeah, he met us down there.
Before the good guys showed up, what did you guys see going on in the caldera?
Two little shitheads
Yeah.
laying against a forge exhausted with not a crown in sight. I was ready to
The
skin
key
them
item
alive.
at the forge.
The anvil was on the forge.
Yes, the anvil was on the forge.
I had to plug in to do this, and then it kept cutting, so I had to move over here. That's why it's
Oh.
Intermission. Is that your rocks?
But once I crossed that red chair, for some reason, even on that extender, it would cut out. Like this take we're doing here, what is this? Take 4, take 5 of this fucking live stream?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Shout out to Vixen, y'all. Um, so the main item at the forge in the volcano was the crucible. What who wants to go a little detail about what the crucible was before the combat started?
It was an anvil, and we didn't know nothing was up with it at first. We just thought it was a regular old anvil.
I like to point out something.
What?
Except it was covered in runes.
Except it was covered in runes. I like to point out something. Naming an anvil the crucible is very funny because a crucible is a completely separate piece of forging equipment.
In the world of Bloodkeep, a crucible is an artifact that can bond soul matter to an item. That's all it is.
In the real world, a crucible. I'm just gonna shut up. I didn't bring this up in the game. I'd like to mention I did not bring this up in the
Okay,
game. I've been waiting.
wyverns and minotaurs don't exist.
I'm
So
gonna make them exist.
Are you gonna become a scientist just to make fantasy
Yes.
creatures exist?
Yes. You'll see me in the headlines.
continue.
So, as we're approaching these halflings, all of a sudden, these eagles, giant eagles, fly in with elves on them and carrying elves in their talons. And then this fucking Asimar bit up, and the anvil goes poof.
Exact copy of your spell
She
list.
had an exact copy of my spell list. I told Nitro when he was making her character sheet, he said that he was going to copy my spell list. I told him, I said, go ahead. I'm still going to kill her.
You didn't even get to kill her.
I did though.
Well, you only killed her because we fucked her up.
But who killed her?
But who killed your
Because I told him,
father and husband?
that's fine. I told him, I was
Y'all
like, there's
sound
something.
y'all sound like
What?
Legolas and Gimli arguing over who gets the most kills.
I told him, I said, there's something really fucked up that I'm going to do this game. And it's going to be so fucking fucked up and off of a very simple spell. So go ahead. I'm still going to kill her.
That's
Okay, so can I explain what I wanted to do in order for them to understand why you gave the stipulation you did?
ooh, you're cutting up real robot voice.
You are the only one hearing a robot voice.
Make sure your
How
Wi-Fi
about
is turned
now?
back on. It's a little better.
All right. Can I explain what I was wanting to do? That way they understand why you gave the
All right, well,
stipulation you did.
ooh, you just got super quiet.
I did not. I'm talking at the same volume.
No, I mean on this side,
Are
you
you
got
hearing
to
me?
so they'll understand why, and then it was just
So they could understand why you gave the stipulation you did.
sure.
I had seen a video. There's this guy that I follow on Facebook that does a lot of um, cool ideas to do in D&D, and one of them he was talking about using the spell Control Water to cause all of the blood in someone's body to either stand completely still or rush to one specific organ. So it was basically like blood bending from Avatar, fucking somebody up with just control water.
Which is why I said what I said.
And so I had told Nitro, like, when we play Bloodkeep, I found something really cool I'm gonna try and do, and it's super fucked up. And he's like, okay, okay. So we get to game day, and I was like, since we're playing today, I want to go ahead and tell you what it is I'm wanting to do. That way you can let me know if I can attempt it or not, because I don't want to ruin anything or, you know. And he's like, okay. So I told him, and he goes, you have to make a nat 20. I was like,
And
fucking
only
deal.
on a nat 20 will that succeed. So, like, if you roll a 19, that 19's going to fail. I don't give a fuck if your bonus is a plus 30, you have to get a 20 on the die.
Oh. So this bitch shows up, and the anvil, she banishes it. It just goes poof.
Oh, too.
She was talking hella shit. And I was like, hold on. They made that poof for a reason. I think we need to break her concentration because, like,
Did you catch what she said before she banished it?
what?
We cannot allow the Dark Lord to return. Banishment.
Yeah. So hold on.
You having fun?
Let's sneeze. It's not coming.
What part are we on?
The
Banish the
battle in the
anvil.
volcano.
Battle of the volcano. She banished the anvil. Um, very funny thing happened next. Oh, orientation is okay. This is your fucking place. Stupid.
You have to hold it up straight.
No, I don't. All right,
Mhm.
so very funny thing happened next. I managed to convince one of the Eagles to join us.
What was his name?
John Feathers. No spell, pure persuasion.
You got a really high fucking roll though.
I did get it like a really high roll. What?
I thought you used
Like
anvil.
No,
It's
I didn't
just
have to.
no,
We
he
spoke
used
common.
persuasion.
straight up.
He rolled persuasion at advantage because of John being an animal, but
You clicked
I
into
don't even
your
think he got a nat 20. I think he just rolled high and had a really high bonus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I rolled like a 19 plus like an 8.
We were level 14. We all
Yeah.
had pretty fair numbers.
No, where are you going?
Right out here.
I gotta go back outside because she's indecisive.
She's got to go finger pop her asshole.
For real. All right, hand you back the phone. I
Oh.
convinced the eagle, and what happened next was even more funny because he wanted a golden nest.
For his
He wanted
payment.
two things. What were the two things?
The golden nest came first.
Correct.
That was
Yeah.
for coming to our side.
Combat, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he was talking and someone tried to send him at the halfway.
Nexus.
Yeah.
That's where that one
And
come in at.
he said he wants to wear.
I got you. We'll get to it. So he convinces the
Can I
eagle to
just
join our
point out
side.
real quick? Can I just point out real quick? The minute that eagle said, I want a golden nest, sister goes, is that John? Like that's how memorable John Feathers is she hasn't played this adventure in fucking years. And I said gold nest, and she goes, that's John. I remember John.
You can't forget a fucking eagle that wants a gold nest and human clothing.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Continue.
So if I'm not mistaken, okay, how the combat played out is very different from how we strategized prior to the combat.
We didn't try to shit.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we did. We discussed it out there.
The first round went very much like we thought it would.
When we went, when we got everything set up for the first combat, before we started combat, we rolled initiative and we took a cigarette break because you can't smoke inside. So, we went out to smoke, and so we were like, you know what? While we're smoking, let's strategize, see how we're going to start this combat, see how this combat's going to play out. And what had been decided was Wilbur was going to start by having trying to convince the eagle to join us, and then he was going to focus on the halflings. Nexus was focusing on not Lardy B. Nexus was focusing on the Athmore, and I was going to focus on the two elves that were flying on the eagles' backs because they were my dad and my husband.
Hey, the only reason Nexus wasn't focused on Lardy B is because he ain't never seen her bounce that ass.
It didn't help that two of the players in the combat didn't.
Yeah, two of the players in the combat weren't part of our strategizing.
And, hey, can I point out if one of those is little dude, I just want to point out that he tried to go along
He
with
did.
what y'all were wanting to do. He just got bored halfway through and said, "I'm gonna go play
He
some
did.
video games."
Yeah.
I'll give that to him. He did try. He was very good at it. He got bored.
Didn't he at first even hold his action for a minute in
Yeah.
order to help you
Yeah,
out?
Yeah.
he held his action in order to catch the halfling as it ran by because it had left his area and was headed toward him, but it wouldn't have hit him until that next round. So he held his action to try to grab the halfling as it went by.
Right.
Because if he would have took his action, he wouldn't have been able to fuck with the halfling.
Well, see, the reason why I
I think
changed my focus when my turn came
it was
around.
Drova that he was trying to grab. What? No, no, it was Galfast. He said the armored one, right?
No, he was gonna hold his action because originally he was going to attack the eagle, and they had discussed him holding his
Mm,
action until after Wilbur's turn in case his persuasion failed. And so he ended up,
that's
since the
right.
persuasion passed, he took his action to knock out the one.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Shout out to
when it was
Jade for this fucking memory shit she be doing, man.
and then when with the halfling thing, when it was the other halfling's turn in initiative, she tried to grab the one that was knocked out and run, but since she was leaving his threatened area, he got an opportunity attack.
Yeah.
Uh, the only reason I changed my focus from the elves to the Asmar when my first turn come around is because I was last in combat. And with the power moves that Wilbur and Nexus were pulling, by the time
Oh
between
my
Wilbur,
god.
Nexus, Wilbur's Manticore, and Nexus's Wyvern, by the time it got to me, this bitch was bloodied as fuck. So I looked at Nitro and I was like, hey, since she's beat the fuck up and bleeding out everywhere, would I then get advantage on that roll to do the control water with her blood? And he's like, you know what? Yeah. So I rolled with advantage and got that nat 20. So all you saw with her was her blood come up to her heart and she blew up.
I would like to lay out what happened before this, which led to that happening.
Yeah, what did you do on your turn after you persuaded
What?
the
Fuck all.
We're not just gonna gloss over John picking up elves and dropping them in the lava pool, right?
Right.
Okay. John started off by picking up me and taking me out of the volcano to talk. I convinced him to help us. He
He
came back down.
didn't he knock my husband, the king of
did.
elves and men, off as
Oh.
he was flying up with you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that was the one that was riding on him.
He knocked him off first.
He went,
And then he grabbed
Then-
you and flew up and talked to you.
Then he came back down with me on his back instead. He broke concentration of the Asimar by attacking her.
Yep.
I jumped onto the Asimar as she was flying.
When he broke her concentration, the anvil showed back up and the pirate pocketed it.
I didn't know the anvil showed back up. I didn't know the anvil was
all
gone.
right, so here's what I want to do. I want to fly in the volcano on this giant bird, leap off of it, and attack that flying angel wizard. D&D.
Yeah,
Weren't you hanging from her for a hot
I
minute?
was. And
He was for like 2 rounds.
Nexus compelled duel the king of men and fucked him up the first few turns.
Didn't he get like 2 or 3 different attacks because of his feats?
Yeah. My
His
Manticore
Nexus?
shot the Asimar with Tailspike.
Oh, I pissed Nitro off because while y'all were attacking her, it got to her turn and she tried to do something to fuck y'all up. And I was like, what did she get? And he's like, oh, she rolled a this. And I was like, nah, she rolled a fucking 5.
And then your dad, Jade's character's dad, jumped onto me and knocked me off of the Asimar.
And tried to get me to come back to him.
Yeah, and then he tried to fucking stab me on the ground. He stabbed me a little bit. He didn't even stab me.
He wasn't.
I took damage from the
All
fall.
fairness, to be clear, he wasn't trying to get you to come back to the good side. He was basically telling you, "Hey, you know all the shit you've been doing since you left. You're gonna go to prison for that when this is
Yeah,
over."
no, your
Is
husband was
basically what he was saying.
trying to come back.
Yeah, your
That's
husband.
what I'm saying.
Uh, now Percival
He was
wanted
on
you
my
back.
side. That's why I was,
Oh,
Tom
I
Bear
thought
was
you.
like, "No, you're
no,
going. You're going
tell
away."
me what came from me. The king fucking
Yeah.
fell. And then I got swamped by
The
the
king was
goons.
like, "I dang love you so much. Be my wife."
After John dropped one of them in the lava, I got swamped by the goons. The goons died very quickly.
One of them, instead of just walking around the pool of
Jumped the
lava,
and fell
he
in.
tried to jump over it like a badass and failed and fell right into that shit.
I think I kind of pissed Nitro
Nitro?
off. For the simple fact that I was surrounded by people and I still managed to get away unscathed.
I think we all pissed him off a little bit because he's trying to do this cool shit with all these guys. You got Nexus over here. I get another attack. This feat gives me another attack. This feat gives me another attack. And then you've got you over here. I'm completely surrounded. Oh, fuck you guys. I'm out.
I'm completely surrounded. Hit everyone around me and then leave.
And then you've got me over here. Oh, what was that roll? Nah, that's a 5. Oh, what? You failed that roll? Nah, you got a 13. You pass.
Very fun time.
You guys
Yeah,
are.
then yeah, so
No!
at the end, where's my phone?
What are you screaming for?
God fucking damn it!
Did you not grab it?
Look at the time.
How?
What do you do?
Because it just fucking cut us again.
It's got us at an hour and 7
None of that.
minutes.
Oh, not on my screen. It don't.
Yeah, mine is showing an hour, 7 minutes, and
my
41 seconds. My time has not cut once.
All right, cool. Because that's what it just fucking kicked us off again and reloaded it.
What's your I think your shit's
My
fucking
time
up.
right now is 50 seconds.
Well, we'll tell you the right timestamps.
Yeah, no, the shit got stolen. I didn't know it got stolen. I know the anvil got stolen.
I don't think any of us knew about him grabbing it until the end of combat.
The goons jumped into the lava. Basically, there were a few. My mentor killed her dad as she arcane gated behind her dad by shooting him in the back multiple times. Nexus killed her husband by.
Yeah, he
Spider-Man.
snatched him up with a whip and Spider-Man his ass.
Let me just point out with the amount of actions you guys were getting, it was essentially just roll till you crit.
Yeah. Roll till you quit or roll till you crit or do shit until they fail. Also, I figured out Charger doesn't need to have you make a dash to be able to push people.
See, I didn't think it did.
Neither does the horns.
But,
The
and
dash
Nexus kept insisting that you have to dash first.
The +5 is only for you to get a +5. The dash is only for you to get a +5 when you attack. I can just put fucking push people. I didn't have to leave combat.
Knew it. Ain't that what I said? I was like, I don't think you have to dash before you do that.
Do what?
That's basically the first combat, right?
Yeah, the goons pretty much picked themselves off.
For the most part.
Especially when they were trying to retreat and run away. The halfling that didn't get knocked out did get away
with the other halfling.
with the other halfling in tow.
Not for long though.
Not for long.
Whatever happened to the other halfling? Oh yeah, she got taken to the torture room.
Yeah, she didn't get away with her, did she?
No,
Yes, she did.
She did.
He's cutting out again. You are cutting out bad, Nitro. Um, waiting for him to be
Am
cleared
I
up.
better? Am I
No,
okay?
I'm about to go inside now.
you're going in and out. You can go ahead in there if you want to. As soon as I finish this, I'll go back to bed. You're better
We can't
now.
hear you at all.
You're
We
better
can't hear you at
now.
all. Hey, buddy, we can't hear
Wilbur,
or see
you're a
you.
dirty fucking rat liar.
I think that was pretty much it for the first combat because it ended with pretty much all of them dead or run off, and we had John as a member of our team.
Yeah, the second combat, and then I think there was like one really, really big super move in the third combat from Wilbur.
I know as first combat was finishing up was when Nexus asked John to go with his help his wyvern look for the halflings. And he was like, "Well, what do I get out of it?" And he was like, "What do I get out of it?" He's like, "Well, what do you want?" He goes, "I want to wear clothes like people do." And you hear Jessup, the giant spider, go, "I got you."
She even had her sketchbook with her.
Yeah, so he flew off to go help with that. Um, Pretty sure Nexus got the anvil back from the pirate.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
that's
Nexus got the pirate to put it back on the table.
I read the book and found out that that anvil is what was used to forge Zalnaj's crown. The anvil was made by Gogmoth, and
Hmm.
it was used to forge Zalnaj's crown, and it's the only one that could be used to forge another one. So that's and then next we needed, the essence of Zalnaj in order to create the crown, and the only essence left of him was him and the other wraiths.
I want to take a moment to touch on how this bit of story arc went from 2 hours of Nexus going, I don't want to kill any of my race, to 5 minutes of him going, get him. Because
At
he
one point,
he tried to come up with every fucking get around he could to not have to use one of the circlets.
I tried to help. At one point, out of game, I mentioned I threw in an idea, and I'm glad it got nixed.
Yeah,
When I at a game recommended that we have him run Amara as an NPC long enough to perform a C-section.
Yeah, you're gonna act fucking baby. Stupid.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm not down with infant sacrifice. I'm not down with ripping babies out of the womb before they say I'm ready. Okay, that's not consensual. Okay, and I'm like, no, Like, yeah, I'm a big horror guy, but that's a little too dark, even for me. We're
I was
not
gonna
doing
say,
that.
like, that was awfully dark of me. Even from coming from me, that was too dark.
This idea coming from the lady who, anytime I recap a certain scene from dissociation, she has to leave the room.
Okay, you know what? I can handle a lot of things, but that is not one of them.
So they walk in this cabin, right? No.
No, we're not talking about dissociation. We're game diaring on Bloodkeep.
Okay, so what did Nexus find out?
Um, he found out that we needed to use one of the circulets from one of the wraiths in order to get the essence of Zalnaj for the new crown.
So what did he do?
Wasn't he trying to see if one of the trolls was Zalnaj's illegitimate child?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think he made that comment. I
Well, if
know
he
about
did, I
that time as
dismissed it
well.
quickly.
I know about that time I used the skull to see. Um, I can't remember what specifically I asked, but the Furies told me that the crown was on the throne.
Hmm.
And I believed it because I'd had no reason not to believe it coming from the Furies, and because, the Wraiths were still up and about. So some form of Zalnaj had to be around somewhere in my character's train of thought.
Makes
So we
sense.
went back to the throne room.
And what happened there?
There was no crown. That's when I found out the Furies could fuck with me.
Well, that's when your character found out. I am a nice guy. I warned you ahead of time.
Yes, but I had to play it as if I didn't
Right.
know because.
Exactly. All I'm saying is, if I had not warned you and just pulled that shit, you would have been pissed.
Oh, yeah.
She would have seen it empty and she'd have looked at me like, what the fuck? But because I told her ahead of time, I'm going to be rolling to see if they're being honest or not. When that happened, she was just like, okay, I'm going to act like it's good. And then we get there and it's not there. She goes, well, brother told me they might lie.
Yeah, that was when the rest of the group found that out.
Oh,
Um, Wilbur found a trail of bugs coming from a
from
crack in the
inside
throne,
the throne. Yeah.
and he followed the trail to the window and was looking and seen a whole trail of all kinds of vermin, bugs, and rats and everything heading towards the main gate. And I think he did speak with animals to talk to one of the bugs.
Yep.
Um, while he did that, Nexus was talking to the trolls outside because we had brought back the bodies of my husband, my dad, and Asimar. And he showed the trolls the body of the king of men and elves, and they're like, "You killed the king of men. You shall be the one to take us to the trees."
We forgot to establish that for the people watching. There's two trolls that guard the throne room, Hobbit and Fraud. They're twins. Hobbit hates doors, Fraud loves trees.
I'm not supposed to let the door happen.
They together make the door happen.
Yeah, they come back from lunch break and the door is wide open and they're like, "We're not supposed to let the door happen."
It's our job to not let the door happen.
I am not sure where Wilbur went at this moment.
Well, then we'll continue without him until he gets back.
Um, I I know they locked us in so that we could, figure out what was going on without causing a
Hmm.
panic. We convinced them to, leave us be. I think we convinced them because I scared the fuck out of one of them.
Yeah, you used intimidation.
Yeah, I told him, was like, we are working for Zalnaj right now on his orders, and if you don't follow through for us to do his orders, I will see to it that you are dead myself. I think he
Then
ran
they'll
off
never
crying.
see trees. Yeah, Hobart ran off crying. Fraud, he knows his job and he stuck to it.
Chris Padala's in this bitch.
Whoop whoop! What up, Chris? This is like take 17, bro. It keeps kicking us and letting us back up. So fair warning in case we have any technical difficulties. We are recapping our playthrough of Dimension 20's Escape from the Bloodkeep. Which they play the bad guys in a parody of Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Honestly, when we were in this throne room, this is when we should have realized that Greeny didn't want to play because if I recall correctly, when we were leaving, he tried to just sit on the floor.
Yeah. Oh my God, he reminded me of Matt Mercer. They were fucking mid combat during the second combat, right? And the princess character that Reika was giving him shit, right? Because he kept failing his rolls and shit. Like Galfast was beating the fuck out of him with that frying pan to the point where his helmet got knocked around backwards and shit. He couldn't see.
Right.
Like he was doing very bad. And she was talking shit, and he goes, I'm going to use my reaction to sit. I will actively go prone to sit where I am and pout.
I think before we left, John showed back up with the unconscious halfling. Or no, he told him where it
Yeah,
was.
drove along with him.
I can't remember
Yeah,
exactly.
no, John didn't show up with Drova. Uh, Nexus's Wyvern showed up with Drova.
I know while we were in there, one of the tremors hit the building, hit the keep, and
Hmm.
you know, fucking Jessa's like fuck, because she's trying to knit a fucking suit for him, and when he showed up, he got to put on his spider silk suit.
Hey, Chris, Juggle Ohio memories, bruh.
I wasn't there, but sounded fun.
All right. Is there anything else of note that happened in the throne room before we jump over to what Nexus was doing?
We took a short rest while we were in there.
Hmm.
Um, I think other than that, it most of that time period was what Nexus was doing to figure shit out.
All right. So in that case, we're going to go ahead and jump on over to Nexus when he was screeching for the rest of the Venguri in the volcano. By the way, the Venguri are basically the ring wraiths from Lord of the Rings. So, and Nexus was the leader of them. They're wraiths. They wear black abyssal armor. They all have rune blades that have different fucking powers and shit. Nexus, when he rolled a crit, it would be coated in a purple flame and deal extra necrotic damage, like a fuck ton of it. Uh, and he comboed that shit with a smite. Oh, the video for Boom Shaka? Yeah, like I'm in. They did and were both nights. So what I'm gonna end up doing eventually is getting the video up and going through frame by fucking frame to see if you can fucking see us. I can't be that hard to miss. I'm one of the only motherfuckers in there with, well, hell, fucking jersey and my face painted up. But the second night I had the ICP hockey jersey with my face painted up. So I can't be that hard to find. My short ass. Fucking juking. Anyway, uh, so Nexus gets to the volcano, calls to avoid having to try to memorize and RP the whole scene. The gist of it was he asked them basically, I think, how loyal they were to the Lord of Shadows, right? And they're all like, yeah, 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 yeah. And so he breaks it down. He calls Declan, which is like his most trusted, like damn near close friend out of the Venguri, and tells him, he goes, look, we can, the Lord of Shadows fucking is dead. But, ah, fuck you, dude. So Nexus goes to Toby and he's like, would you give your life for me? And they're like, yeah, we would totally give Toby's life. So look, whoever brings me Toby's crown gets this halfling. Fucking do what you want with her. Kill her, rape her, eat her. I don't give a fuck. And so they dogpile on this fucking Wraith and start stabbing the shit out of him until eventually Declan comes out with his fucking circlet. And so now they have the materials to craft a new crowd. I was like, oh my god, that was great.
Yeah, we had all the materials, and then we just needed to be able to forge it, which none of us knew how to do. But Declan reminded
Oh shit.
Oliver of this elf that they had imprisoned some years back that knew how
About
to
two
do that. So we went on a little expedition to the fucking prison.
magic prison complex referred to as an oubliette because once people are locked in, everyone on the outside with connections to them forgets they exist. It's designed for people to be locked away and forgotten. And Nexus's character, Oliver, is the one that locked this guy in there. And he did it specifically because the dude refused to share his knowledge of crown smithing with the Lord of Shadows.
Yeah, so we get there and they could not figure out what door was the right one. So I used my skull and I communed with Gogmoth himself and asked him, and he told us which door, or told me which door.
Oh, he was
So I
very
guided.
direct.
Oh yeah,
He
so I
was not
guided them to
nearly
the
as cryptic
door
as the Furies.
and said something about opening the door. And Nexus looks at me and he goes, "Are you capable of opening the door?" And I went, "That a challenge? Okay, okay." And I put my hand to the door like that and cast Shatter and fucking destroyed it.
Oh shit. So basically the dude's name is Avinash, and in his cell for like 200 years. That's it. He's just sitting there. The one that got the nat 20 on that insight check. I mean, it was either Nexus or Wilbur.
I don't remember.
I think it. Anyway, someone rolled in that. I had more insight, and someone rolled in that 20, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude's full fucking crazy.
Uh, yeah, they're trying to, talk to him and they're like, we need you to build this crown, da 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 da. And he looks at them and he goes, "Okay, I just have one question. Um, how will you keep my bones?" And I was like, "I mean, so long as you do what we need you to do, they'll stay nice and wet where they are around with your blood and shit." It like
I think
he
you
was
said that
obsessed with his bones.
talking about him being wet. You're talking about him being wet.
Right. But yeah, he was very concerned
He's
about his
like, oh,
bones.
are you? Do you not understand?
Like to him, this
You
is
keep them,
completely fucking
or
normal.
will the
Why are we
river take them?
confused? So, we end up getting him to come with us. We go back to the volcano.
Oh my God, I
And
love
that was
you
when we
guys
took the
get
short
there.
rest because we took a short rest while he was crafting the crown.
The first thing out of his mouth when they get to the volcano is, "It's hot in here. There's something wrong with all this water."
Um, so we get done taking this short rest and we go to check on him and we're like, "Hey, is the crown done?" And he goes, "Yeah, your friend took it." We're like, "The fuck, what friend?" Turns out, the little
He's
halfling
like,
that
the
had
little one.
escaped, uh, showed up and took the crown. And she had stolen the pirate's sending stones, so she used them to call his ship back to Bloodkeep to escape. So we had to chase this bitch down and catch up to her on the ship, where we had our second combat.
Yeah, let's that. What led up to that?
I know I tried.
Talk about when he had said during his interview.
Um, I know he kind of just got on John's back and flew straight up to his ship.
And then the Eagles came.
Yeah. The Eagles came in. Okay, you're gonna have to set up the scene because my brain's getting fuzzy.
So there's two giant eagles, right? And each of them had the arm of a tree in their talons. So they were working together to carry this big ass tree monster. And then riding on the back of one was two of Greeny's brother's crew, and riding on the back of the other was the other crew member and his brother. Oh shit, she froze up. Did
I'm right here.
you? Your okay, your video was froze up for a minute. So as Greeny is getting onto his ship is when Tavian stands up on the eagle and goes, "Little brother, been quite a while, wouldn't you say?" And jumps off and does a fucking flip and lands on his fucking ship, all badass and shit, trying to get him to quit working with the bad guys and come the fuck home. And the Trent, it starts rooting to the ship and combat starts.
Yeah, he really didn't do a whole hell of a lot with it until he used his magic item sword and teleported him and his brother down to the volcano. Um, Meanwhile, me and Wilbur are just kicking bitches off the ship. Um, I know I pissed you off because I banished the trend. And then Jessa was trying to attack. Um, Jessa was trying to attack. No, I was waiting for my turn because the only reactions I had were Featherfall and Counterspell. So I had to wait for my
Oh,
turn.
but
And the guy hit her. And then by the time it got back to my turn, you had me surrounded with fucking enemies because by this point, Olog had started telling everybody we were a traitor and had people from the keep trying to attack us. So you had me surrounded by him and fucking Eagle and shit. So I used my next turn to teleport over to Jessa to get the fuck away from them and help her because I was going to jump down and shoot an attack spell at that guy, but I would have left their threatened areas and they would have gotten opportunity attacks. So I used my action to teleport over there instead.
uh, sister,
Huh.
um, I'm not sure if anyone in the chat heard any of that, but I did not because your video is pretty.
Hang on. How about now? Can you hear me? Okay, I don't know then because my data is working just fine and on my end everything's working fine. No, you're clear and I'm clear on my end. Can you hear me now? All right. What was the last thing you heard?
And then sounds cutting in and out for the rest of the time.
Yeah, I said that, that was after Olog had deemed us traitors and was bringing people to attack us. And you had surrounded me with him and an eagle and other enemies. So I couldn't get down and get over to help her without
Yeah,
provoking multiple opportunity attacks. And I know that's why you set that shit up the way you did. So instead, I used my
I don't know what
action
you're talking about.
to teleport myself over to her. That way, on my next turn, I could assist
All
her.
right, hang on.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Together that you had just said that you teleported over to her for something, but like it's cutting out bad.
I said I teleported over there. That way, on my next turn, I could assist her.
Go smoke a cigarette. You had better signal out there.
Oh, fuck. Hang on. Oh, shit. Oh, ugh.
Where the fuck is Wilbur?
I don't know. Do you realize how hard it is for me to get the fuck up like that? Oh.
Yeah, but I just heard every word in that sentence.
What the fuck, Mike? Ooh.
See, the
Yeah,
video's moving now.
your ass set it up to where if I tried to just do a movement and use my action to use an attack spell on the guy attacking Jessa, then I would get multiple opportunity attacks on me and get the fuck beat out of my squishy ass and lose concentration.
Hey, that's where the bad guys boarded from. It's not my fault that that's where you happen to be at the time. I told you guys you could put yourself wherever you wanted on that top deck, and that's where you chose to put yourself. That's on you.
Yes, but A, don't act like you weren't hoping that I would move and initiate an opportunity attack from the enemies. B, if I had remembered where they boarded from the last time and specifically didn't go there, that would have
Oh, it's
been
doing
really
it
bad
again.
metagaming. I can't
It's
win,
doing
dude.
it
I don't know what
again.
to tell you.
Is there a seat over by the washing machine?
The other seat is where I was sitting earlier when it was glitching.
Yeah, but when you were over here just a second ago, it wasn't glitching like that.
There's not a seat by the washing machine. Let me step the fuck outside and see if that's any
Maybe
better.
that's while you're standing, it's almost perfect. The video's a little laggy, but the audio's not. It just happens to be when you sit out and get in a comfortable position, it starts fucking you.
Yeah,
All
and
right,
I
Chris said you're not glitching on him, so maybe we'll just keep going. And if it's only glitching on my end, then I'll have to just watch it back to see what you were saying. I guess I don't know. Am I
well,
glitching on your end, bro? Is it me?
I kind of have to sit in some kind of semi-comfortable position with the fucking issues
I
I've been
know.
having.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's choosing to fuck you.
All right, how's that? Is that any better, brother?
That is much better.
Okay, and
And
it's
look at that
actually
beautiful view behind you.
it's actually cooler out here than it is in the fucking smoke room right now.
So see, it helps us both.
I'm waiting on Wilbur to come back because I have to pee.
Where the fuck are you? Did he pull a
And I
greenie and go
can't
lay in bed?
do what?
Did he pull a greenie and go to bed?
I don't know if he went to the bathroom or if he went to go do something or what. But I can't text him to find out because if I try to minimize this to open my text, I'm gonna lose the fucking stream.
Right. Same.
Um. Anywho,
Oh no, it's doing it again.
I can't do anything.
I'm so sorry. Is it just on my end, Chris? Is she glitching on your screen or is it just on mine?
Chris, we need to know.
Like, all right, now you're back. Now you're back. Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
I've got 3 bars out of 5, so it's like it's not perfect, but
He said just on your it's your phone. It's your shit.
I'll get back later. Oh
Wilbur,
shit.
if you're watching, if you want to come join again, out here is much cooler than in there.
Fuck. Okay.
Um,
Where the fuck were
where are
we?
we at?
The battle. The battle on the shit on the siren.
Um, yeah, because after I got over there, when it finally got to my next turn, was when I fucking pushed the fucker off the fucking wing.
The goblin
No,
ship had this
no, I
thing
didn't.
on it.
I didn't. I pushed somebody off, or Jessa pushed somebody off in her first turn. My next turn, after I had teleported to her, I teleported she and I to safety because she had taken so much damage.
Yeah.
And that's when we ran into the pirate fighting with his brother. And in all honesty, I was content with just lay low, let him battle out his brother, and keep Jessa safe until that combat ended. But somebody fucked us all over. Because bear in mind, while all this is going on, Nexus and Wilbur are taking motherfuckers out left and right. They damn near had that ship cleared. And Wilbur was going one on one with the halfling in a room of the ship that was loaded with gunpowder. Um, Green, can you still hear me? Going into
It's
that,
cutting out on me. At least it's cutting at least on my end. So I opened the door to see if it'll help the signal at all.
um, but like I said, by that point, Nexus and Wilbur had taken out a fuck ton of enemies, and Wilbur was
Oh
going one
yeah.
on one with the halfling in the gunpowder room of the ship. It gets to Greeny's next turn, and I'm expecting him to finish fighting with his brother, and instead, he grabs me and Jessa and teleports us back to the fucking ship.
And then what does he do?
Hold on. By this point, not only had Nexus and Wilbur been doing just fine to fucking finish out the combat, the ship was now starting to get overrun with more enemies because of the people Olog had brought to fight us.
Yeah, they had on that ship. They had this thing called the Mangler. Is basically like a medieval fucking grinder, and it was chewing through the hull of the ship.
Yeah, so
Free RPG Day is June 22nd.
so so he teleports us back to the ship, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I teleport us out of there for a reason, and I can't do it again now without us getting attacked more. So then he goes into the gunpowder room and blows the shit the fuck up with all of us except Nexus on the fucking ship. It's almost like he wanted a TPK. Like, if it weren't for me having the reaction
Yeah, because
featherfall, I would have died. Jessa did die from the damage she
he
took
was
from the
like, I'm
explosion.
dead.
Nexus had to
He's like,
save her
I'm
life
dead, and
as
I'm
we
like,
were
you don't know that.
falling.
You got to roll damage.
So we're all falling. Nexus, as we're falling, brings Jessa back with Revivify. I grabbed her, used Featherfall as a reaction to fucking stop us from plummeting. Olog grabs Greeny and fucking smashes into the ground, which Olog got sad because he couldn't die and walked off, and Greeny's laying there dead. He was going to not be dead because uh, Wilbur tried to save him. Yeah, Wilbur cast a spell to fucking save his ass. Like rolled and everything. And he's like, okay, I slit my own throat. And Nitro's like, seriously? No, never mind. You know what? Get your spell points back. Don't even waste them. I told him, I was like, if you don't want to play, you can just say that. It's okay. I got petty because as soon as he died, I was like, I cast create undead. Nitro's like, yeah, now you're her little puppet. After that, Greenie was out, so it was down to me, Nexus, and Wilbur. Um, and right as we were figuring out, that we could use another vessel, I got a vision from Gogmoth that showed me what we had to do to bring Zalnaj back. And we needed a vessel, and we had decided that Olag would be the best one because he already wanted to die for Zalnaj. Um, yeah, it's on your end, brother. Right. Um, so, as we're planning to, find Olag and convince him to be the vessel for Zalnaj to return, that's when Suicidal Queen finally was able to play. So we asked her if she wanted to jump in for the last combat in RP. So Amara, Princess Amara, finally got to show up. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I convinced Jessa to go home so that she wouldn't die again. And then Princess Amara showed up, and as soon as she shows up, she's like, "What is happening?" We're like, "Where the fuck have you been?" She's like, "I was shopping. What happened?" So we told her everything that had happened. You're Mr. Freeze. Um, so we explained to her everything that had happened, and right as we're finishing up explaining, she goes into labor because this whole time she has been pregnant with Zalnaj's heir. Um, so she goes into labor. She goes into labor, and the baby's born. Hi,
Am I coming through good
I
now?
can hear you just fine.
All right. I switched over to Wi-Fi. Hopefully that'll fix it.
So she goes into labor and gives birth to Zalnaj's son, whom she names Loki. And that's when we're presented with the options of either we can use a vessel. Chris said, "Oh, there you are." Um, we can either use a vessel like Olag to completely bring back Zal. Nitro's gone again. There he is.
It kicked us again. I'm back on data.
Yeah, I see you're back now. Um,
So
or we can
I
crown
guess we should
Kyle
just
as
get
the
through
new
it
Lord of
because
Shadow.
my shit sucks.
I'm trying to get through it. I really am. So yeah, they said we at this point we can either use a vessel or just crown the child. And we're still on the goal of bringing back Zalnaj. Like we even called Gogmoth and talked to him and everything. So we go to the throne room. We open up the throne. We go down this corridor into the room where we have to be in order to bring back Zalnoj. Jessa has followed us, and I've told her she can stay for the final battle. And we enter this room, and this boat, there's this fountain pool of blood in the middle of the room, and these four monstrous statues. And this boat with this like reaper looking guy rises from it. Oh, on the way there, we passed the statue of Dogma, and and we discovered that Zalnaj was not exactly faithful to Amara. He'd been, having flings and such with like Lilith, Jessica's mom, and a bunch of others. He had the hots for Oliver. So by this point, we left it up to her. We're like, what do you want to do? Because even Wilbur's character, who had been 100% loyal to Zalnaj, was like, I can't get past this. My loyalty is now to the princess. And so she decided we're going to just crown the baby. So we enter the room, and the guy rises up and he tells us that in order to crown the child, we have to get blessings from the statues or the spirits. So I'm going to let you take over for just a minute so I can run and grab a cigarette.
Oh, I'm the one that keeps freezing now. Can y'all hear me in the chat? Let me know. Am I cutting up or am I okay right now? I'm not continuing until someone tells me if they can hear me. Otherwise, it's pointless. Cool. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Doyle. Cool, cool. All right. So basically, the statues are possessed with the essence of evil itself. And that is the power that's in the crown, right? So basically, they got to get the crown, the baby, and the blessing from all four of the spirits into the fountain of blood, and then the boatman will be honored down to give them the power, right? While this is going down, Olag has figured out where they are at and is leading the rest of the Blood Horde in a charge into the tomb. And I'm going to let Sister take it away because this is Wilbur's badass super move.
Yeah, it was Wilbur and his manticore and the three fucking bears he summoned and Nexus and the
Does that make
zombie
you
pirate,
Goldilocks?
right? And the zombie pirate.
Thank you,
And
JP.
wasn't John with us?
No, John didn't come for the last battle. He was kind of fucked up after the pirate ship battle.
Right. So it was just, which we also took another short rest before coming down here, just so that's established. Yeah. So me, Amara, the baby, and Jessa were doing the blessings while Wilbur, his bears, his manticore, Nexus, an elemental I had summoned, and a uh, a zombie pirate that I was in control of. We're all fighting off the monsters and keeping them away from us.
All right, all right, all right. You made your point. I shall say.
Um, yeah, those bears were fucking motherfuckers up left and right.
Oh my god. They were mauling them fucking orcs, man.
They like honestly, I don't think any of the orcs even got past enough to get to the second row of defense because Wilbur was pretty much keeping all of them at bay with him and the fucking bears.
Yeah. But they didn't even get past the first row of statues.
So we by the time like not even it took what 2 rounds, 2.5 rounds for us
Yeah.
to hit the fucking statues and get all the blessings.
But the Bloodkeep got a turn too.
Yeah, you want to explain that?
No, I'm gonna let you do it. It's more
I
fun
don't
that way.
remember what the blood keep did. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Though the floor started falling out.
Uh-huh.
So we were having to maneuver around fucking Black Void in order to get to the last couple of statues.
But see, like when we ran it the last time, in the other group with Strife and them, it took quite a few rounds of combat and ducking, dodging, falling shit, and floors falling and shit because we didn't have a motherfucking shit ton of bears at the entrance and shit. So the orcs and the goblins got in there to fight them off. They had to do all this shit. It was really, by the time we got to the end, it was, there was like literally 20 to 23% of the fucking floor left, right? By the time we finished the battle this run, only 4 sections of floor had fallen out.
Like, between Wilbur summoning the bears as the first line of defense and me teleporting us around, we got through that so fucking fast.
Oh, don't just gloss past what you fucking summoned.
I conjured an elemental. That's the
Good thing.
last half. The other halfling from the ship had made her way down there too, and I stick the fucking elemental on her to fucking drown her ass.
No, the halfling wasn't in there.
Then who was the little one?
The halfling, no, Galfast dipped out at the toward the end of the pirate ship battle. Once she seen the ship was about to blow, she grabbed the fucking sailcloth and dipped out.
Then where?
She
Who
never
was the
came
little
back.
one?
It was one of the goblins.
Okay, that was it. I sicked the elemental on one of the goblins and had it just like completely submerge this bitch and drown it.
Hmm. And luckily, there was no like blunt or stabbing or nothing like that damage dealt. So we didn't have to roll to see if that goblin had a bomb in it or not.
Yeah, that last
Yeah,
combat went so fucking smooth
yeah, I was very disappointed.
because we didn't have a more difficult time fighting.
I'm sure you guys felt like badasses. I felt I was robbed of the ultimate cinematic ending.
Well, it all was worth it when we crowned that baby.
So they crown the baby. Oliver takes off to find new aspirations and jobs. Morgor and John take off to go kill an old man to get his fortune.
I think I went with Amara to help her raise the new king.
Yeah, but so that was Bloodkeep.
That was Escape from the Bloodkeep, and it was dope.
Am I cutting out again?
For now, not on my end.
Well, you're cutting out on mine. That's why I asked.
But yeah, I think that covers Escape from the Bloodkeep.
I'm trying to move around to see if I can get clear signal so you come through better. In case you have any questions, I can answer them before we end it.
I can't think of any right now.
I got home yesterday, and by the time I got to the house, Humble was live, so I jumped on that to watch that.
And by
Then I
the
went
time
and
he got a hold of me, we were trying to get groceries and get home because we had tornadoes coming in.
yeah, and then by the time I woke up today, it was after 4 p.m. because I was dog fucking tired.
See, I didn't wake up till like 5
I
yesterday
had
because I was so exhausted.
yeah, I had like a 3 hour nap after we all went in. And then I woke the fuck up and packed the car up, and then I smoked while I waited for my boy to wake up. And then once he was up, I smoked a cigarette, and we hit the fucking road.
Yeah, after we got done playing, after went in from us smoking and talking, I laid down because I was in so much pain and I fell asleep. And I woke up to Nitro waking me up to let me know he was leaving.
Yeah,
And then I laid back down and didn't wake up till like 5 when Nexus woke me up. As soon as Greenie died, he went to bed.
so, in conclusion, they did not restore the Lord of Shadows, yet created a new one.
But it was a satisfying ending nonetheless.
It was. It's pretty much how it ended the first time we ran through it, except everyone involved was very much invested. So none of the main story beats got glossed over like they did this time.
Yeah, we got really lucky that Suicidal Queen was able to jump in at the end because we almost missed out on that entire
Yeah,
birth.
yeah.
But
So
all of that being said, I think that the Escape from the Bloodkeep game was a success. It was fun. It was entertaining, and it had a very satisfying ending, especially for Suicidal Queen, I'm guessing.
oh yeah. Yeah, because now
But I
she gets
think,
to raise the new fucking king to be the kind of person, she would like to be in charge.
right, it would have been better for her feminist character if she would have had a girl, though.
Yeah, but the way the shit works in this time period, in this setting, the girl would have had to have gone through a lot more to get that title.
However, because the new Lord of Shadows is an infant, she will be having to make most of the decisions for a while, so she'll get that power.
Which is why I put that in
But I think that about covers it.
there. Yeah, I think I'm moving around. It seems to give me better signal. Uh, Oh damn, bro.
Oh. I think this is the first time we finished a game diary before the 2.5 hour mark.
Yeah, but we normally by the time it's edited, it's down below 2 hours.
Yeah, normally by the time we're done filming before the edits, it's like 3 hours.
Yeah. But I have nothing else to add, so if you have nothing else to add, we're gonna go ahead and sign out of here.
I think we're good to sign off.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll be back up and running properly on Saturday. So until then, whoop, whoop.
Woo-woo.